we have to talk about the AFUL Performer 8. Stick around. Let's talk about how good this thing is. Welcome back to the Thrift Shop. Today, we have something that I consider exciting. That's right, it is the AFUL. I'm not going to use AWFUL anymore, so it's AFUL Performer 8 in-ear monitor, and this thing has blown me away. If you've been around the IEM market, the Chi-Fi market for several years, you know that IEMs are getting very, very good. But the issue is that they're all starting to follow the same similar trend. That's right, the whole Harman target. So while we're getting cheaper and cheaper and better performing things than, something that was $500, 2 to 3 years ago is now $150. So sometimes it gets hard when you're in this hobby to spend more money on an IEM, let's say $300, $400, $500, because you feel like next year it's just going to be cut in half and it's going to be $200 for that same level of performance. And what really are you going to be getting? What's different, right? So that's why this is exciting to me. I went out on a limb, honestly. I'm one of those guys, I don't measure IEMs, but I will be soon. This transit from China takes a while. But I like to read the frequency response graphs, and if you don't do it, I highly recommend that you just take a look and chance and understand what you do or don't like. I'm just going to pop up one here. It's a very, it's a bunch of squiggly lines, but it's going to show a bunch of IEMs I like. The Theaudio Monarch Mark III, Truth Ear Nova, the SimGot EA500 LM, Effect Audio Elysian Gaia, and the AFUL Performance 8. And your Performer 8, you're going to see some of the differences in response, although there is a very similar trend, even though within that trend there may be a 10 to 15 degree or dB difference. Just overall think about the trend. In the AFUL Performer, if you pay close attention, there are some very distinct differences, and we got to talk about it. But what led me to the Performer 8 is the AFUL Magic 1, the single balanced armature full range IEM for $130, $140. This came off sale. You probably could have got this for $100. This thing is beautiful. The cable for this price, I mean, it is hard to get this much quality for the price. And this thing blew my mind. And still to the day, that's why it's on the table. That's why I listen to it. And that's why I didn't go for the Performer 5. And looking at the frequency response, I felt I would be getting more of the same. And I don't buy these things. I bought this with my own money. This was not sent to me by anybody. So I can't thank anybody other than you for viewing this video and all my videos. Please go watch them all and help out the channel. But I thought this is a great deal. Never mind my Chihuahua, he's giving his 2 cents worth. But the Performer 8 is $369. So it's no small investment. I did get this during the spring sale, and as you know, with Chi-Fi companies, they're running a new sale every few months. So your opportunity to get this for $320, $300 will be coming up. If you don't want to get it today, I will link an Amazon link. It may be to Hi-Fi Go. It is an affiliate link, and it just helps out the channel. It costs you nothing. But we got to talk about the Performer 8. So from a technology standpoint, what most people don't talk about, there's actually a patent. AFUL created a patent for what they put inside this. Now, outside of the standard, let's talk about, obviously, it's a Performer 8. I'm going to go call it P8 from here on out. It has 8 drivers. One 8mm driver, it's a biological diaphragm for true and powerful bass. 2 BAs for lower frequencies, 2 BAs for mid-range, 3 for high frequencies. So you get 8 total drivers, and if you know anything about whether it be a single dynamic driver or BA or hybrid or tribrid designs, getting everything to work together is hard. And when you are a relatively new company, and I consider AFUL a new company, these are just new releases, to get everything to tie together and be coherent is amazing to get 8 drivers. So great job, AFUL. You guys did it. Now, why is this different? Well, most people are going to claim that this is a neutral set. If you look at the frequency response, I'll try to pop it up here. You're going to see that it does have some bass, and there's a gradual decrease to about 300 hertz. The difference in this unit, and if you look at the overall graph, it looks flat, and you would say boring. I don't like neutral reference flat speakers. I don't like anything like that. There's a lot of boredom to it. This doesn't sound flavorful. It doesn't sound fun. Looking at this graph, I didn't think that I would like it, but I took a chance, and I am glad I did. Because when it hits about 400 hertz, all of a sudden you're seeing a rise where most IEMs don't start to rise until about 800 to 1000, and that's where peanut gain starts to increase for your ear, and that's where the vocals come in and brings vocals forward. What this unit does is, if you look it over in general, at the 2K point, it is, at its peak point, but rising from that early kind of 400 dB range gives a thickness to the mid-range, a thickness and a note weight to the instruments, specifically in that range, that gives us just a harmonious, beautiful sound. Timbre is absolutely spot on. Moving on to the treble, it's, if you look at it, it's staying relatively flat. Yes, it's a few 5 dB below most IEMs, but you don't feel like you're missing anything. You feel like you can hear it all because it's not masked by the high vocal content that you get in other IEMs. I feel it's almost like bass bleed. It's a vocal bleed basically going into the treble. And by having them do the vocals in this way, kind of in that mid-range area, you feel like this is super hyper detailed, especially in the treble area. Anything above 2K to 10K, you just feel is amazing. It's like you can peer into the music like you haven't done before. The cliche thing to say, right? But this is a tuning that I haven't heard before. And I know, again, some people are going to call this reference. I don't think that. There are things that are done differently in this unit, especially the bass. It has high levels of bass, relatively speaking. It's not a bass head IEM, but you feel the impact. I mean, I like rock and metal, and I am rocking out with this thing. I do notice that I need to turn up, the volume a little more than, say, an equal IEM. Just feel like you just need to get that presence going. At the same level, it would seem a little boring. It's just kind of what I noticed. But I've absolutely fallen in love with this IEM. Again, I got to get this thing up here to show you how beautiful it is. I'm so excited, and the reason that some of my videos are late right now is because I just want to spend a lot more time with this. I've just absolutely fallen in love. This faceplate, I don't know, if you look at the thumbnail, it looks like a crinkled metal underneath. It's quite remarkable. It's not a wood tone, even though it gives some kind of appearance. So it's got some orangish and reddish and yellows. It is a little bit, it's a semi-custom shape. I would put it on the medium large. It's not large, in any shape. You do get deep insertion of the nozzle, which is really, really nice. The cable is top notch. I think I read somewhere that this is like 94 or 98 individual strands, 4-wire. So you're getting a nice braided 4-wire. It's a silver plated copper. You're getting metal connectors. It is not multi-connection. A little bit unfortunate at this price range. And there's little things. Moondrop, a brand that I like. You're not even getting metal connectors for your 2-pin connectors. So this cable, just like the Magic one, for its price, even if I didn't like this IEM individually, I would use this cable because, again, you're getting metal ends. Just a well-built cable. It feels nice. Same thing with this. It's not sticky. It's not janky. You can see, it's not holding memory. It's great. And yeah, this one's $379. That's $139. But you get the same kind of thing even at the lower level you do at the higher level. Absolutely beautiful. Usually I start off with what's in the box, but I'm so excited to talk about this thing that I've kind of missed it. So yeah, nice. It's a magnetic box, so it's nice. You know, the cover's nice here too, but it's nice. You know, it's cool. A little black on black. It's just a foam insert to protect. IEMs would be sitting here. You get a nice leatherette. We're going to call it a vegan leather. A nice flocked case in here, which feels really, really nice. Luxurious kind of feel. So yeah, it's a standard puck, but they did a nice, tasteful job with it. You do get the nice information. I rarely open this up. Cool thing is you are getting a lot of tips. Now I have not tried to see if any of these are different. By appearance, they look the same. I haven't pulled them out. I typically, with a large insertion, or you know, the depth is very deep, I go with smalls, sometimes medium, depending. I tried both small and medium. Medium worked fine for me in this case. You know, the last tip that I was tip rolling, what happened to be the render tips that Zeos is always pushing, and I do like them for some IEMs. In this case, I absolutely did not. So you see here some of the render tips here. The silicone coated foam, memory foam, and this takes away too much base. So it's best, from my experience, to stick with just a standard silicone that's provided. It's fine. It works great, and you have plenty of them. And if you like them so much, you can use them on other IEMs because you have plenty. So I'm not going to do a lot of comparisons, quite honestly, because you can read the forums on this and people will say this competes with the Dunu SA6 Mark II, and the debate is up. Is this better or whatever? Some claim this, you know, Dunu's better. Some claim this is better. I don't have it in front of me to say that, so I don't, you know, right now I don't have anything in this price range. And all I can say is if you're someone who's dabbling in the $50 to $80 to $150 range, maybe the Truthier Nova, you know, the Variations knockoff, if you're in that range and you wonder, is this something you should try? And I would absolutely say 1000%. Go running for it, don't walk, because this is a sound signature that is absolutely amazing. Now, a few things we have to talk about relative to sound, because you see frequency response graphs. The thing that is not being told to you, or most people are not considering, number one, most are using their inboard computer system. So that would be internal DAC to create, you know, to generate the tone frequency response. And they're using the internal analog to digital converter to create the graph, right? So we are music enthusiasts and audiophiles, so we have higher end equipment. So you don't know really how good that frequency response graph is based on their computer. If any audiophile says use your computer for sound, they'd probably laugh you out of the room. And here they're using their computers to do the same thing they say don't to do. But with that said, you know, it's a reference point. So when I do this, I'm going to be using some high-end analog to digital converters, and hopefully that'll work out. But the point of all of this is that what you put an IEM on is just as critical as the IEM's tuning, right? So, you know, obviously I'm running the new, or new to me, Matrix Audio Mini. I think it's the Mini 4, i4, or something like that. So I'm running it through Paces, streaming, using it as a DAC, connected to my i5 Pro iCan. I also have the Denver Berries. Well, I'm not going to get into the shit Bifrost 264, but you don't see it here anymore. But that's been my reference stack for many times. Those have character. They may have a little bit of elevated bass, a little bit elevated vocal region. They do have, you know, a sound character to themselves. and that plays very well. You know, playing with the Denafrips Aries with the Pro ICANN here, which I can increase the bass on this unit. So if I feel an IEM is a little bit flat, I can turn it up. For review purposes, I am trying to leave everything flat, but that does influence. They do have flavors, and the flavors work really well with this IEM. Now, if you go to something like you have your own, in this case, a Hibby DAP, you're not going to get maybe the same thing that I talked about. It's not going to be as warm in that mid-range area. You might find it's a little more clinical. I used it on this and I actually loved it. It's very clinical, very detailed, reference monitor type, but it was still fun and exciting. So I didn't have a problem with it. You just, my point of all of this is that you really have to recognize the gear you're using to get the output that you're using. And a lot of people don't talk about that. They just want to talk about the IEM, and what you're connecting it to may be as important as the tuning of that IEM. Notwithstanding, you can EQ with your computer or using a DAP. So this would be a great tuning IEM if you want to learn what you like or don't like, because it's not overly bloated in any way. Anyways, I appreciate you sticking around, and absolutely love this. Link down below. Please like, subscribe, just help out the channel. Cost you nothing. Just hit the buttons down below. Appreciate it. Peace.